What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning on in. A little bit of a different one for you today. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. This is my new golf cart, and it sucks. Let's get into it. All right, folks, so let's start things off with the stuff that I don't know. I don't know the year, I don't know the make, I don't know the model. So we're not off to a great start. I'm sure there's a VIN number somewhere on these things, like a car, that would tell me that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I don't really care. None of that matters. Based on how the tires look, they are super, super dry rotted. I think they're from 2006 when I last looked at them. So based on how this thing has been maintained through its life, I'm going to guess that those are original tires, which would make this thing a 2006 golf cart, which really isn't too bad because getting into the stuff that we do know, it's got a 48 volt battery system. So there are six 8-volt batteries tied in a series. Right now, terrible condition. We're going to see if we can revive those a little bit and get this thing back to its former glory. Let's just show you how bad this thing really is. Whatever those are, a T875, I think it says, 8-volt battery. Based on that, that right there tells me it's been severely discharged. But then, right there, that also tells me that it's been severely overcharged, because if you have some terrible corrosion on the positive terminal, generally that means it's been overcharged a lot in its life. If you have corrosion on a negative terminal, it's been severely undercharged a lot. So we're battling a couple issues. Everything looks really dirty, a lot of janky wiring. Like, that connection looks quite terrible. A random repair in the middle right there. Just terrible heat shrink stuff that isn't really sealed or done what looks to be correctly. I don't even know what that is. That wound wire like that, that does not tell me there's a lot of confidence in this thing. So that's kind of what we're looking at for a battery system right there. Now, guys, I think that twirled up janky wire is probably the headlights. So it's kind of sick. This thing has headlights, it's got taillights. When I went on its first drive, this thing broke down on me because it just died. That's how terrible the battery was, and apparently it was on a full charge. So that's not a great sign. But when I'm on the accelerator and I'm under load, the lights just go lower. So they lose brightness. So that tells me the battery condition's terrible, or because of that corrosion, it's not getting the right voltage and there's like voltage dips, or the wiring is junky. So technically it could be all of the above. We're going to have to narrow that down. Let's keep looking at the rest of the cart. All right, so some of you guys might be asking, why even bother getting a golf cart? Well, I have moved to Southern California for the winter time anyway. There are golf courses everywhere here. It's beautiful weather all the time. Lots of charity events to do, lots of training to be able to do. And in Canada in the winter, it's miserable. So that's why I've moved here. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, but here there's not really bike lanes. Well, there is, but it's more so golf cart lanes. So that's interesting. These things are actually street legal in a proper working order. A 48-volt golf cart should be able to do like 20 miles an hour, I would think. So these things will boogie pretty good, get to the driving range, get to golf courses, even go pick up some groceries. So it is super convenient to have one of these things. We just need to make sure it's going to work and not break down on me like it did the first time. Couple changes we want to make right off the hop. This basket here, I think that's got to go. It jumps out super far into where the golf bags sit, so it ends up kind of dirtying up my bag and putting weird indents in it. So that's going to go. Obviously, we've got to clean up the wiring. The battery terminals refill with sulfuric acid or distilled water. Get that properly charged. I also don't trust the charger that came with this thing, which is, oof, this thing right here, super heavy. But this charger, I don't think it actually fully shuts off. A lot of these chargers are supposed to have, basically, once you get the battery to full charge, it's supposed to tell this thing turn off, or maybe put it on a trickle or whatever, just to keep it at full battery. Based on the condition of some of those positive terminals and how much corrosion there was, it's either fully charging it and then it continues to overcharge, or it's plugging it in and it's not even doing anything. So I can't really rely too much on that charger. Obviously, I could just get a new one, but what's cooler and more fun, and since we are in Southern California with over 300 days of sunlight in the year, we're going to put a solar panel on this thing. That's right. We're going to make a solar paneled golf cart. So you'll stay tuned for the next video on that one. That's where we're going to start actually working on the golf cart, repairing some stuff, and then seeing what we can do for a solar setup. Being a 48-volt battery system, it needs to be a pretty big panel. Haven't done any of the math or research quite yet. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to require too big of a panel to even physically fit on this thing. It's going to be a bit of a monstrosity, but it'll be hilarious, and we're going to film it all and have some fun with it. So guys, if you are curious to see how I make out with this budget solar golf cart build, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, maybe drop a comment how you think it's going to go for me or what you'd like to see on the golf cart. And we're going to have some fun with this thing. We'll catch you guys in the next one.